it was very puzzling to me, and here's why. So they call it a tragedy, and we're supposed to feel bad for them, and I've seen a lot of comments, and they say the Orpheus that didn't turn around is the one that wouldn't have gone down to get her after all. And I guess you're supposed to, oh, he loved her so much, he just couldn't help himself. But I've come to the conclusion that the story of Hadestown is actually wildly unromantic. And as I'm sitting there in the theater watching this, I'm just thinking about it all, and here's why. I made a little list. So we start off with the fact that they both just didn't trust each other. There was no good foundation for this relationship. So Eurydice goes off to find food and something to keep her warm or whatever, while Orpheus is writing his song. It's like, oh, everything's going to go back to normal once I finish my song. My song's going to change lives, right? And she didn't trust him to finish his song in time. She had to go off and do things for herself. But it doesn't make sense to me. How is it that she's so cold and she's so hungry that she has to go out and, do what she did when he didn't have to go out to get food and something warm? What I'm trying to say is, how is it that she was on the verge of starvation and he was not? So basically my point is, I don't think she was really that desperate to get food, that it was more of a luxury. Because if it were that bad, I think he would have felt the effects as well. But it was just her. It was only her who had to go out and do something. So this, to me, doesn't seem like it's as much of a problem that she doesn't have what she needs. That it's more of a problem that she just doesn't trust her husband to, sort everything out before it gets to that point. Then, it felt to me like she, got into bed with another man, both, metaphorically and literally. So she literally makes a deal with the devil, right? And I mean, that's not a good situation, but I'm also thinking she cheated on her husband with this man, because Hades is like, step into my office, and he's talking about, oh, there's some papers that have to be signed, which is why I'm thinking it seems like she literally sold her soul, right? But then after that part of the show, Persephone comes out and she's like, step into my office, repeating what Hades has said earlier, and she's doing a certain kind of suggestive movement in her body. And that to me is kind of telling me that is what happened between Hades and Eurydice, that this was a double entendre, that she cheated on her husband. Now, why am I supposed to feel bad for Eurydice if she cheated on her husband? Be so serious. You ran off with another man, got in his bed, and now I'm supposed to, hope that your husband comes and saves you? I don't know. Okay, so that's all about Eurydice. Now we're going to go back to Orpheus, because I got some problems with him too. So, first of all, it's like, well, I think we're conditioned to think, oh, wow, he would go down to Hadestown for Eurydice, which is the HE double hockey sticks land. And now this might be getting into a bit of a religious thought, but I actually don't think it's romantic. There's this idea in a lot of media, and especially, so Bring Me the Horizon has this song, and they say something like, you can drag me through HE double hockey sticks land. If it meant I could hold your hand, I will follow you. But this is concerning to me because, now, once again, this is, more religious discussion, but you're gonna go there for eternity for the person that you're going after, or the person that you love or whatever. What? In a religious context, that's saying you love that person more than you love God. And that's not romantic. Not romantic to me, not one bit. Now, and here's my last thing about Orpheus. He turned around. He had one job. They told him it wasn't a trick. He had one job to do, and he didn't do it. And it's like, oh, poor Orpheus, he loved her so much, he had to turn around. No. It is not attractive when you can't control yourself and get your emotions in line to do what needs to be done. He had the power in his hands to save his lady, and he let it go. That's not romantic. That's not romantic at all. And I'm done with the, oh, but he loved her so much. No. No. If he loved her, he would have did what needed to be done. He would have did what needed to be done. And this is completely unrelated, but I did a project on this one time. And, you know, in different interpretations of the whole, you know, Orpheus and Eurydice, like, there could be this idea that what if he wasn't even going down there to save Eurydice? What if it was for, like, the fame of it, to say, oh yeah, I went down there. I went down there, the place that everyone's scared of. I went down there and I came back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, think of the motives. If he wanted her, if he really wanted to bring her back with him, he would have. And with all of this, I just can't seem to think that it's a tragedy. You know, I feel like Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy. That's my favorite play. This whole Orpheus and Eurydice, particularly as portrayed in Hadestown, not romantic to me at all. Not something to model a relationship after, not something to look up to. Nope, not at all. I think it's very unromantic, but you could let me know if you think otherwise.